God of Laundry, Laufey, has done the impossible. It has united gamers in pure hatred. That's right. This is easily gonna be one of the greatest disasters in the last 10 years of gaming. And I'm not saying this lightly because you know the competition for a title like that is currently extremely steep. But they're doing this. And I have some absolutely amazing news, boys. Two amazing pieces of news. First of all, there's a story leak. We don't know if this is true, but if this is, even if 10% of this story leak is true, this is gonna be one of the greatest things that I have ever seen in gaming. It's gonna be amazing in all the worst ways, obviously. And number two, which is arguably even more hilarious, is the fact that Alana Pearce probably lied about being a writer for God of War Laufey. That's right. That's right. She's probably lying about being a writer because she has said a lot of things. And when you put these things in a timeline, none of it makes sense. Okay, but that's what we're gonna get onto a little bit later. First of all, the story leaks. I know you're excited. Update. According to Sony Insider, God of War Laundry is about Kratos' wife who falls in love with Hela, Loki's sister, looking for the tree of love of where they can breed a female Kratos. Even if a single part of this is even remotely true, this is gonna be absolute cinema, boys. Absolute destructive cinema. Oh, please let it be so, please. When I saw this originally a couple of days ago, I saw the original post. I wanted this to be true. I demand Sony does this. Okay? And today, when I want to talk about this, it seems a lot of people share this exact same want. A lot of people seemingly share this opinion. People want this to be true because people are done. Okay? There's no point in thinking that this game is gonna be anything but hot shit. So, at least make it funny, okay? The same way that Marathon should hire Sweet Baby Inc. to help them. The same way Bethesda should probably get Anita Sarkeesian to develop Elder Scrolls 6. You need to go all in, because at least it would be funny. It's gonna be a shit show no matter what honestly happens, but at least this way it would be hilarious. And I'm all for that, obviously. And if you're thinking, wait a minute, this sounds unbelievable and stupid, you need to look at the evidence. This has been Sony's timeline of games, by the way. The latest one is Ghost of Yote, where you not marry, but fall in love with the evil woman that tried to kill you, that killed your brother or something, and then you adopt your brother's kid, and you a lesbian couple take care of it. I'm not kidding. That's the story of that game. Now, I'm a little bit fuzzy on the details, but that's roughly it. So, this is the last story Sony did. So, the fact that this story is like this actually is remarkably plausible, okay? The Last of Us 2 is literally the same story, by the way. Forspoken, or whatever this shit was called, okay? I don't know the story of this, but I bet it's the same. Aloy, Scissor Me Timber. There's actually more evidence that this is the route that Sony is gonna go than not, because they have made every single one of their big IPs literally the exact same fucking endgame story. The only part better than this would be if Laufey fall in love with Hela and then they went to the land of the living, beat the shit out of Kratos, and then took the child for themselves, okay? That would be the only thing better and hotter than this. Oh boys, it's not looking good. And this is a great post, by the way. God of War Laufey was started 7 years ago. It was made during peak woke. Exactly. This game is literally straight in the peak woke era. Okay? Here's Alana Pearce. So here's the God of War game I spent 4 years writing. The 4 years is important, by the way, because I'm gonna contextualize a bunch of things which will make her seem like she's lying about being a writer on this. Honestly, I would not be surprised if Santa Monica Studios just got her like a part-time position and she like did a couple of things, and so she can finally use this as a, oh, I was a god of war writer, he to own literally the chats. I honestly think that's possible. I'm so unbelievably proud of everyone at Santa Monica Studios. Yes, Queen, everyone knows you're lying. I am aware of the incredible talent the team possesses, but it's more beautiful than I ever imagined. I cannot wait to play it again technically. Oh, the self-centeredness. Now, as a fan, God of War Laufey. Okay, so this was the post that she did on Instagram. She tried to. This is why Santa Monica was probably giving her a pass on this, because the biggest controversy that she had is the fact that she said that she is a writer on God of War Ragnarok. And in before some idiot literally tries to say, she actually never said that. There's literally like 5 different fucking clips of different situations, different times, different years that you can find just by Googling this. This is very well documented. She has very explicitly said that she is a writer for the story of God of War Ragnarok, by the way. Okay? I don't want to deal with any idiot trying to say, oh, she never said that. She did. The amount of evidence towards that is just astonishing, honestly. And just to contextualize Alana Pearce a little bit more, this is her when she was in the what's it called? I forgot the game, the name of this thing. But this is her character, and it's supposed to be over-sexualized. And Alana Pearce is very much fine with that, obviously. But this is here when, you know, Resident Evil Village, and you had Mommy here, and it was over-sexualized. Then Alana had issues. But when it has to deal with her, oh, this is fine. This is the good type of stuff. So that's just so you know that she's a full-blown hypocrite in case you have never dealt with this witch. And now I just want to point out a couple of things that Alana herself has said. This is from her channel, by the way, if you're wondering. And this was literally a reaction she posted about the game. And I'm just going to give you the context now. God of War Laufey has been in production for roughly 6 years, and Alana Pearce has been a writer, as we looked, where was it? Here, for 4 of them. And yet, when Alana Pearce sees the release for this game, she is completely incapable to recognize pretty much anything. Pretty much anything. And she states that, oh, when I worked at it, a lot of things probably have changed, and all of my stuff that I wanted to do was probably changed. 4 years. This game has been in development for 6 years, and you have been there from 4. She, by the way, he literally says that she has been working on this game from day one. Day one. So the fact that she barely recognizes anything in the 20-minute gameplay release that we have is super sus, to say the least. It honestly doesn't make any sense. How the hell does she not know anything about the game? You were there for the super majority of it. You were in the design stage, and when it's 2 years left, the game's pretty much ready. You're just like kind of fixing issues and whatnot, but for some reason, Alana just doesn't know anything. Anyway, let's just look at a couple of snippets and clips that I have of her.
I was there from day one, really, so there'll be plenty of stuff that's changed, of course, and many writers have worked on it. I wrote the first character bio for Faye. It was a very bizarre experience where I went to the office when we did like a tour, and the bio that I...
Yes, so Faye is her own creation. Now, granted, it's probably not, because you need to keep in mind how Alana is talking at this point. She's saying that, oh, I made the first draft for Faye. She's not saying that it is her or is not. But considering Alana is a complete self-centered ego, mainly a maniac who would say anything that looks her look better, she would instantaneously say that Faye is her creation and this is her draft if it was like that. She will always take credit and omit, and just, not omit certain details when it's not good for her. So, she did the first draft, but this is not the character you're playing. Now, granted, probably, a portion of that character has stayed, but still, I just want you to have more context how Alana says things. Because again, there's a reason why she's considered the absolute massive liar. Because she just naturally lies about almost everything by omitting information at the bare minimum. It's insane. And you can see this very well here.
wrote for her was printed out on this giant board underneath a picture of her, and I was like, holy fuck, that's my writing in this office, printed out on this giant board. So there's some things that, like, you can't take away. Plenty of things of mine will not be there, but it's like I was there so early that it's you kind of can't, in a way. Many things will have changed, to be clear.
Yeah, so many things would have changed, but again, by the timeline, with its 2 years left, the game's pretty much finished. They're just polishing the bugs. There's no more room for big changes. But she's already making the excuses. Oh, a lot of everything I worked on will have changed. If you were there day one, then you should recognize pretty much all of it. Which you, by the way, can see in some snippets. For example, here. Alana says, "Oh, I recognize all of this place." When you encounter first baby Grogu, it's like she's like, "Oh, this place previously has boxes." This is the start of the game, by the way. So she recognized the place because she knows what it's supposed to be, but it's completely different than she knows it, which again is impossible because unless they change the whole goddamn game in the last 2 years, it's completely impossible. Here's a little bit more. This one, these ones are a doozy, by the way. This contextualizes how she actually thinks, which is kinda insane.
Out of here. Yeah, we've tried. There's no way out.
And you're a talking sword.
I'm not the sword. I'm the ribbons, obviously.
I am,
And my name is Rue.
the reason that character is a New Zealander was my pitch.
Yeah, so Alana's impact on the game and writing is, oh, let's make him a New Zealander. That's it. That's fucking it. That's all she can. Worked from day one, 4 years out of 6, left because the game was finished, can't recognize anything in it. And then she says, yeah, the fact that they're a New Zealander was my pitch. This is insane. This is fucking insane.
Afterlife of the Gods? I call it the Everyone.
Afterlife of the Gods.
That was the thing I was gonna say before. This is fucking insane.
So,
I don't want to overinflate anything that I've done. This is so many people worked on this and much harder than me. I named it. I fucking named this place. That's mine.
So, she worked on this game for 4 years out of 6 since it was an actual real development. And only now does she know that the Afterlife of the Gods is named by her idea everywhere. She is currently taking absolutely not a single actual writing credit except like, oh, the cube has a New Zealander accent. Or, oh yeah, the Afterlife is called Everywhere. That's it. That's fucking it. And she's acting like she doesn't know this. You would know that these things are already set in stone if you actually worked for 4 years there. Unless the whole game has been changed in the last 2 years, which is impossible. She should know this. It doesn't. Her reactions to all of this don't make any sense. Her reactions to all of this is like, she was in the office for like, I don't know, 3 days, and they asked her questions, and she said, well, what about we give this cube a New Zealander accent? What about the everywhere? Yeah, if we need a cool name for the afterlife, like everywhere. Only the irony there is the fact that it's the afterlife of the gods, which doesn't exactly make a lot of sense that it's called everywhere. Everyone. Whatever, close enough. And there's an explanation to this, by the way. You're gonna fucking love it. I needed to rewatch this like 5 times to understand what it is. It's technically right here. This is this is, as you can see, 1534, and this is 1618. She stops talking after she says this, and then she starts talking here again. And I needed a little bit to understand what the fuck she's talking about here. So this is why we also have captions on this one. I'm gonna explain, don't worry, I'm gonna explain, because you're probably also not gonna understand what she means.
I'm sorry, typically the term is an Aboriginal term, and I had to formally consult to make sure that it got approved from an Aboriginal council. But I was the one to be like, let's call it this. I can't come up with the credit for the word. But got that Aussie DNA in there.
Yes. So this is her referring to the afterlife name of everyone. This is that. Alana Pearce had to go to an Aboriginal council to get approval to use a word, which is not a real thing. You don't need to do these things. But again, this just shows how absolutely fucking insanely woke this thing is gonna be. They literally went to another Aboriginal Australian council to get approval to use that word that they probably don't actually give a shit about, I would imagine. Yes. And again, she's surprised about literally everything and anything. Like, she sees these characters, she has no idea who these characters are. She just says, maybe she does, but she says that they're beautiful. At the very start, when she gets kidnapped, somewhere here, you can see that giant... Oh, there it is. Is it there? You can see, like, that giant building thing or something like that. It's a gate. I can't find it where it is. But it's somewhere here. You're able to see a giant door. Okay? And that door is how you get in and out of the afterlife. As a god, I guess. Which doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. And Alana Pearce is like, when the character explains that to her, she's like, oh, I had no idea what this is. Which means, obviously that's a huge MacGuffin that probably a lot of the plot is centered around. The way to escape the afterlife, because obviously some god's plan is going to be escape the afterlife. Who would have expected, I know. And yeah, that's supposed to be a big thing. And Alana, working 4 years on that, did not know about this? She had no idea that there's like a giant gate? Again, I wish I could find it here, but I mean, I just don't see it. But it's the giant gate somewhere here. Maybe we see it after this. Okay. If we see it, I'll stop. But yeah, Alana had absolutely no idea that was a thing. She literally says, if I can find it, I will show you. I wasn't prepared for this one. But she literally says, it's like, oh, it's the gate. Because they just don't know. It should be, I think, somewhere around here. Yeah, see? That thing right behind her. There's a better shot when Alana expresses that she has no idea what that is. And it doesn't make any fucking sense that she doesn't. Because she should, again, Alana was 100%, it cannot be true that she worked on this game as a writer for 4 years. She knows nothing. She knows nothing. Everything seems like a surprise for her. Now, I understand that, yeah, she probably didn't see the final fucking product. That's okay-ish. But before that, I think it's a lie. I think Alana is lying about being a writer, and this is just Santa Monica trying to own the chuds. I honestly think that's what's happening. Any case, 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye.